Hello everybody, it's Brett from Universe of Adventures back at it here again. A year goes by so quickly. It's crazy to think that, of course I started the vlog way back in April of 2020 in the midst of the heaviest part of the pandemic. And then I started this vlog, or this YouTube channel I should say, with the 2020 KALEA Brewer's Advent Calendar. Of course, today is December 1st. You might be watching a little after December 1st, but I hope to get it up on December 1st. And here we are again with the 2021 edition of the KALEA Brewer's Advent Calendar. That's one beer a day, December 1st through the 24th. Now, a few things I gotta lay down first here. I will be off on a trip for business, for the Airshow business, so I won't be able to do 4 days worth of the Advent Calendar on those specific days. I'll have to play catch up once I return. So the heads up with that one. So I will do that. Don't know when those videos will come out, but I'm going to keep the videos in sequential order. So you'll see December 1st through the 24th. Hopefully everything will be up by New Year's Eve or a little bit after anyway. So, I of course did get this at Costco again. I wasn't really sure about it this year. Just realized I'm not wearing my wedding band. Uh-oh. Sorry, sweetie. But I wasn't sure if I was going to get it again because I wasn't sure how much of a difference there was going to be. And thankfully there are quite a few beers that are different from last year. And then there are some of the old favorites that still have made their way back. So there'll be some beers, if you watched last year's, you'll see some of those in here. And then there'll be some new ones that we get to try. So really looking forward to this. I'm just looking at some of them. The Gremminger Kierta's in here, the Turboprop Imperial Pilsner, the Landgang Pils, the Perlin Zauber, the Flotzinger Hell, all of them are in here. The Earl Hell, the First Carl, a lot of those are in here, but then there's a lot of new ones. The Kausel's in here. So, I mean, there's just, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to trying it. And hopefully day number 1, it's on this side, is a new one. So we can start off with a big show with a new one here. Of course, I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to have to do that, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge, and then we will reconvene and do the review. So, with that said, I guess let's just get to it. You guys know how this works, right? If you don't, go back and watch last year's video so you can get a little bit of last year's. I'll link it in the description below so you can get an idea of how KALEA works. And of course, these are all beers that are imported into the United States from Germany, and there was a few from Austria last year. We'll see this year where they really come from. And a beer a day. And so you can try rare beers that you normally couldn't get in the United States. Then you can have them. So what we're going to do is we're going to find number 1 here, which is right here. The inaugural punch of 2021. I cannot believe it has been 1 year. 1 whole year. Now it's time to see what beer it is today. And it is a new one. It is one we have not had before. This is labeled as a German-style Helles on here. 4.9%. It's called Grantler Hell, a grumpy German Helles, is what it says. So, you know what, while we're here, let's just see what Untappd says about it. Let's see what, let's see if we can get any more information out of it here before it goes in the freezer. Alrighty. Alright, so this is a Helles Lager, like we said. It does come from a familiar brewery if you watched last year's. It's from Schlossbrauerei Herrngiersdorf. So they made some of my favorites from last year. Gave really good reviews to some of them. Doesn't really give any more information on the beer except it's a Helles, 4.9% ABV, 20 IBU. So looking forward to trying this. It actually feels a little cold already, but of course we're going to chill it the right way, and then we'll be back at it shortly to give it a review. So here you go. Grantler Hell. It's time to do it. 2021 KALEA Brewer's Advent Calendar. ready to rock and roll. Alright, so obviously it's been chilled in the fridge. I said freezer earlier. Did not put it in the freezer, obviously. Put it in the fridge. Same mini fridge you used to see sitting back here. Sorry for the cough, excuse me. And I'm calling this Vlogmas. My wife wants me to call it Vlogmas. So, Vlogmas 21, Vlogmas 2021 is the Brewer's Advent Calendar. That's what my Vlogmas is going to be. So, of course, this might be a yearly tradition. We'll see how it goes. And while we're at it here, before we really get to the drinking aspect, I'm going to throw it back up because you probably didn't do it yet. But, like, comment, subscribe. You don't really have to comment. Like, subscribe, share, comment if you want. If you've had this beer, if you're doing the calendar, let me know what you think. I want to know your opinions, too, on these beers. You know, we all have different tastes, so go ahead and do it. But make sure you do all that. Ring the bell to get notified when we upload a new video. And then, of course, social media. We're there. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all below. Go ahead and check out the links in the description and subscribe there. Follow along for the fun. And then, of course, head on over to www.universeadventures.com and subscribe there. Tons of fun stuff coming up there as well as here. I got a lot of work in progress to go here. But we're going to get to the bottom of it all. I promise. There's going to be lots of good stuff coming up. Anyway, we're back at it here with the Grantler Hell, the 4.9%, 20 IBU German-style Helles beer, what they're calling an angry German Helles. You know I like Helles lagers. They're a very interesting kind of lager. They're very tasty. Usually have a good balance of the malt and the hops. So I'm looking forward to try this. Of course, this was from Schlossbrauerei Herrngiersdorf. Schlossbrauerei Herrngiersdorf. Trying to think back to last year on the pronunciation. Which there were some beers from them last year. I'm going to go ahead and double check here to remember what beers we had last year from them. I do remember having quite a few out of the pack, and something tells me that there'll be quite a few this year too that we'll see. So I'll go ahead and check it out here really quick. Of course, they're a microbrewery out of Herrngiersdorf, Bayern, Germany. So it should tell me here once I select it. Alright, so I guess I've only had one beer checked in that was from them. I do remember saying it though, so there we go. I do remember it. And it was a 4.4 I gave to. It was the Hallertauer Hopfen Cuvee, if you remember that one. If not, I'll link that below too, so you can kind of see what the brewery has done in the past. Gave it a 4.4, so I'm looking forward to that. That was a German Pilsner, so let's see how this German-style Helles will go over. This one has been had by untapped by 3,400 people. It has an average rating of 3.31. But a lot of people recently that have gotten it out of the pack have been giving it rather good ratings, it looks like. So I'm excited to try it. Of course, Helles lagers are one of my favorite styles, as I've said before. So, you know, my rating's going to be based off of other Helleses. I'm not going to base it off of my overall liking. Like, people might look at my rankings and think it's weird, you know, but if it's the best of one of its kind, that's how I rate things. That's the way you keep it fair, in my opinion. Because if you're trying to compare an IPA to a stout, it's not going to work out. So I'll do a whole other video on how I do my rankings, so it makes more sense. But we're going to go ahead and get to the bottom of this now. Like I said, 4.9%, 20 IBUs. It is a Helles lager, or we'll call it the grumpy German Helles. So, we're going to go ahead and get this going here. Not much more information on this that I can see right now, so go ahead and do this. Get her going here. Smells very Helles. Smells just like you would expect out of a Helles lager. It's getting me. I have flashbacks to last year already. I still can't believe it's been a year. Here we are rolling. So that head, kind of a pale straw, a yellowish color on it there. Exactly what you would expect out of a lager. You can already see the lacing on the glass from it. Of course, I have a lot of head up there too. Get a little bit of a hop smell in it. Aroma-wise, it's, you know, out of the can, that's what I got. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm smelling is just is the hops out of it. Sometimes out of Hellas's you will get more of a hop smell than you will any malt, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the hops are going to overpower it. But it's like, you know, open a can of Bud Light or something like that. The hop smell is what really bites you at first, and then you kind of get to the malt and kind of, you know, some of the adjuncts in there. But I think the adjuncts are what help push that smell up. So, not saying it's going to be a hoppy beer. Like I said, Hellas's usually find a good balance between the two. So we're just going to get to the bottom of it, and we're gonna see here. I'm going to try to think of a way to word this after my first sip. This tastes exactly how you would expect a Hellas lager to taste. It doesn't do anything to necessarily break the mold out of the Hellas. But you get a nice malt flavor that it's really balanced out with the hops. Like, the hops aren't overpowering, and they're not there. They're almost perfect. And then you get your traditional Hellas lager taste, is what I would say. I'm going to pour a little bit more here so I can do my untapped photo, too. But if that makes any sense to you. Yeah, we're going to pause for the untapped photo real quick, and then I'll take another sip and we'll get back to it. Alright, so we're back at it. I'm going to do another sip here. It's extremely light-bodied. Very sessionable. This is one that you can continue to drink, and even at 4.9%, obviously, it's not going to be so bad. A little bit of hop bite up front, but like I said, it's not overpowering, and it's not too minimal, but you can tell they're there. And then you just get that nice grain and malt taste that you expect out of a lager, with a slight herbal aftertaste. Maybe just a pinch of salt even that you can taste. Not bad in any way, not overpowering. Mostly that herbal flavor that you get. So, herbal, sessionable. I don't want to say it's what you'd expect, a perfect Hellas lager, but it's what you would expect out of a Hellas lager. So this is going to be a top tier Hellas lager because, you know, it's not like, oh, it blows you away, but it's what you expect out of it. And that's what makes a Hellas lager good, is if it fits the description perfectly of what you would expect, then you're good with it, right? So that's where I'm at with this. 4.7 rating is what I'm going to give this one. Really good Hellas, like I said. You know what, let's keep that as a tentative rating. I'm going to take a few more sips here. But yeah, you can see there's that very light yellow, straw-like color. Good lacing on it. I could literally just drink that and continue to drink it. It's a extremely sessionable Hellas. That herbal aftertaste kind of sits with you there a little bit. Very malty up front, grainy, traditional Hellas lager taste with that slight hop bite. And I'm not even sure what hops they use in here. I'm not even sure if I'd be able to find that, but obviously there's not a lot of hops in it. But yeah, and there's a mouthfeel that you could still feel in your mouth even after you swallow it. It's an extremely well-balanced beer. It really is. Yeah, I figure out any hops that are in here. It does say it is a seasonal beer. Perfect for this season, I guess. But yeah, that herbal taste sits there, and it's a good one. It's a good one, and that probably is coming from the hops, obviously. But that malt taste up front, slightly sweet too, that you get out of the hop a little bit, not the hop, from the malt there. So, what you would expect with the Helles, like I said, sweet going in, herbal on the backside, and extremely light-bodied and sessionable, like I said. This is one that you could just drink. Of course, there's only one in the pack, and can only do one a day anyway, right? Or that's cheating. But, well, like I said, coming up, there will be a few that I'll have to do in one day probably. So, overall, I'm going to stick with the 4.7. If you have a chance to try it, go for it. Like I said, it's the Grantler Hell, the grumpy German Helles. The grumpy German Helles that makes me happy. How's that? Doesn't make me grumpy, it makes me happy. From Schlossbrauerei Herrngiersdorf, out of Herrngiersdorf, Bayern. 4.7. Recommend it. Give it a shot. If you like Helleses, this is going to be what you expect out of a Helles. It's not over the top. It's not too little. What you want right in the middle of a Helles. And I've had tons of the Helles lagers. There were tons last year in the pack, for example. But let's just take a look here. How many? So the Earl Hell was a Helles lager. I give that a 4.0. That's in this year's pack. The Altbayerisch Hell from Bürgerliches Brauhaus. I gave that a 4.0 as well. The Grandel. Is the Grandel a part of what this year? It doesn't look like it, but that doesn't mean it's not. I mean, I'm not going to take a lot of time looking at it. I gave that a 3.8, for example. So, Tannenhell, I gave a 3.9 to. The Flotzinger Hell, which is this part of this year, I give that a 4.0. So it just gives you an idea that I generally do with these Helles lagers. We'll stick to a 4.0 and above. So I like the I like the style. Said that going in. So that's where I sit. 4.7. It's gonna be on the higher end of the Helles lagers, mostly because, like I said, it's what you expect out of one. It doesn't give you the punch to be top notch of the 5.0, but it's not a bad one at all. This is an extremely good one that I recommend trying. I mean, 4.7 in this category, and in a category of beers that I like, where most get between 4 and 4.5, tells you that this does elevate it to the next level, just because it fits the mold perfectly. And with that herbal taste afterwards, I like that. I like that it's just not your malt taste that you have, or maintains it with the herbal. So that's why it gets a 4.7. I do recommend it. Oh, wait a minute. Can't tell if this tells us the hops that are in it or not. Unfortunately, it does not give us the type of hops. I thought that it did. I'm sorry about that. It just says that it's water, barley, malt, and hops that were used to make it. So, it is a product of Germany. Obviously, we've said that. So, I got my hopes up there. Maybe I can do some research and see if I can figure out a little bit of the hops on it. But, there we go, 4.7. We're going to go ahead and end it there. Do I have to throw up the like and subscribe again? No, I'm not going to do it this time. Just make sure that you do it. New intro coming your way too. We've got a whole bunch of other fun stuff. Of course, today we just kind of got the video going for it to start it off. And then, we'll do the Vlogmas. Different introduction there. We'll roll with it. So, thank you again. At the end of this, you're going to go ahead and see my ratings, everything that I said about it. The usual, if you've seen my beer rating videos. If not, subscribe, and then you can see all of them from there. So, with that said, first day of Vlogmas is complete. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. It's my favorite part of this, is when I turn off the camera and then I can just drink this. enjoy it. But we will see you very soon as we open up day number 2. So, happy first day of Vlogmas. Thank you for joining along on the journey. We will see you soon. Take it easy and have a good one.